What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Angle Podcast, NXT and AEW Dynamite pre-show. I'm your host, Joey Karni. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below to stay up to date with all the Angle's activity right here on YouTube. Now, tonight, I was excited about both shows. I am excited about both shows. We're going to be talking about everything that's going down on both NXT and AEW Dynamite. A lot of things happening tonight. A big show planned for both shows. But before we go any further, let me fix this light. We always have a problem with the lighting here. I'm not sure why. Looking like a carton of milk here. So let me see if I can fix this a little bit. Always so bright, which is not always a bad thing. But okay, we're a little better now. Okay, so let's take a look at the matches that are going down tonight. A lot of things happening. Big matches happening on both sides. On the AEW side, we have the face of the Revolution ladder match winner, which is Scorpio Sky. Spoiler alert for anybody who didn't watch Revolution this past weekend. Sunday, usually Saturdays, on Sunday this past weekend. He will be facing the TNT champion tonight, Darby Allin. Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky with the TNT title, which is probably going to be, it will be, a banger of a match. I'm excited for it. Not sure if it's going to be the main event of the show. It's looking like it might be. But if it is, that will be a very great match to end the night off with on the AEW side. On the NXT side, I mean, takeover stacked card here. We have Finn Balor defending the NXT championship against Adam Cole, a match that has been brewing for weeks now. It has stemmed from the, I guess you can say, the implosion or explosion for those AEW fans, explosion of the Undisputed Era. A lot of things happening with Adam Cole. Not sure if he is finally realizing that he doesn't need the Undisputed Era, if he's better than the Undisputed Era. We don't know. He hasn't said much about it. Besides that, he's just been screwing over Kyle O'Reilly. Took Kyle O'Reilly out of commission. Haven't seen him since then. Last week, destroying Roderick Strong. Bobby Fish is still on the shelf, so we don't know where he stands in this whole thing. It'd be exciting or interesting to see where he stands regarding this whole implosion of the inner circle of the Undisputed Era. That's what happens when you get confused or when you do a show about AEW and NXT. Now, on the AEW side, we have a first-time ever match. Matt Jackson, AEW, one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Young Bucks. Matt Jackson will be taking on Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix won the Tag Team Battle Royal this past weekend at AEW Revolution, earning him and Pac a shot at the AEW Tag Team title. So I guess we're going to start off the feud this way. One-on-one matches. It's not always a bad thing to see these matches, especially the first time ever between two fantastic tag teams. Matt Jackson taking on Rey Fenix. I definitely think in this match we're going to see Rey Fenix continue. Well, actually, they both won. Young Bucks retained at AEW Revolution. Rey Fenix getting the win for his team. So they're both coming off a monument this weekend with a lot of momentum. But I have to say, for this match, I think that we're going to see Rey Fenix take the win. I think his win was more dramatic and less unpredictable as the Young Bucks win were over MJF and Chris Jericho at AEW Revolution. Big match on the AEW side for the women's division. We have Britt Baker, DMD, Maki Ito, and Nyla Rose taking on Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, and Ryo Mizunami. Just continuing the feuds or the storylines that we saw play out at AEW Revolution. I'm excited to see that match. I think tonight we're going to see, it's actually kind of unpredictable, that match, because Britt Baker and Ito won at the buy-in, AEW Dynamite, AEW Revolution. But Shida retained her title. So both teams have wins and losses from AEW Revolution. So the momentum is really kind of balanced there. But I do have to say, I think that Shida, Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa are going to get the win for that team, for that match. Should be a great match. Well, the women's matches from this past Sunday at AEW Revolution were phenomenal. I'm excited to see those all go down tonight. Now we have Christian Cage also debuting officially after signing his AEW contract. He said it was a multi-year deal. And then if you watched Oral Sessions with Renee Young that was actually released today, he said that he signed a long-term deal with AEW. So I'm excited to see what he has to say. He is not going to be a sort of part-timer like everybody else says. He is in it for the long haul. Quote from him from Oral Sessions with Renee Young. He's in it for the long run, long haul, and he is back full-time wrestling. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. He spoke about eventually getting involved with Jon Moxley and Jericho and MJF. So there's a lot of potential for Christian Cage and AEW. I'm excited to see all that and more. But I'm really excited to see where he's going to put his direction or put his focus tonight when he finally speaks in his debut on AEW Dynamite. Now, on the NXT side, we have, let's see here, a big match. Io Shirai will be defending the NXT Women's Championship against Toni Storm. These two have been going at it since their triple threat at TakeOver with Mercedes Martinez. We haven't seen Mercedes Martinez since then. I believe she I think she got injured in that match, and we haven't seen her since. But who knows? I'm not sure. There have been no reports, anything like that. So I'm not really sure where she stands. But tonight should be a phenomenal match. Io Shirai and Toni Storm. I do have to say, I do see Io Shirai retaining her title. There is going to be a takeover in April, not necessarily WrestleMania weekend, but there is going to be a takeover in April. And that will probably be the biggest takeover of the year. I would assume that Io Shirai will go into that event as a champion, and if anything, lose the title there. But I just don't see anyone right now that can take that title off of her because she's just too strong and has too much momentum. So I'm predicting, like I said, predicting Io Shirai to get the win over Toni Storm tonight on NXT. Now, I kind of went over the NXT Championship match, but I didn't really give a prediction. Finn Balor versus Adam Cole. I see Finn retaining. Would it be great to see Adam Cole become champion? Absolutely. I love Adam Cole. Everybody does. Bay. But seeing Finn Balor retain would also be really, really cool. So either way, I think the fans are going to be satisfied with this win, with this match, whoever wins, because there's a lot to look forward to going into TakeOver WrestleMania weekend. There were people saying that they wanted to see, or there were reports that maybe NXT would be involved with the two-night extravaganza that is WrestleMania April 10th and 11th. People were saying that maybe April 8th there'll be a takeover, maybe a two-night takeover. And that kind of leads into the next topic, which is the two game-changing announcements that NXT General Manager William Regal will be making tonight. There is many things that these announcements can be. One of them being is that there will be a takeover. I think it said on the WWE Network April 8th or 9th or something like that. Not sure if that will be. I'm just speaking from what I think the predictions are. For those of you who are watching in the chat, let me know what you're saying. I'm looking at the chat now. Bold Prediction Wrestling. Hey, Titantron says, what's up? David Smith, I think Scorpio Sky wins the TNT title tonight. Honestly, David, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Scorpio Sky win just because of the hell that Darby Allin went through this past weekend at Revolution, falling 2 or 3 stories, really putting it all on the line against Team Taz with Sting getting the win in that match. But I wouldn't be surprised, especially with this new attitude we're seeing from Scorpio Sky, that Scorpio Sky can definitely win that title tonight. And since Darby Allin has held that title, I really haven't seen him do much with it. So if this is kind of going to a storyline with Sting, I would say just take the title off of Darby Allin, let Scorpio Sky win it, rebuild himself, I guess, without SCU, a new attitude, sort of say that he has, this new persona. Let him build himself up as a TNT champion, and we can build, on the other hand, with Darby Allin and Sting. So if that's the case, I would not be opposed to seeing Scorpio Sky win the TNT title. Bold Prediction says, I really don't know which way that match is going. Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on tonight. Big night, AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT. Nearly 40 minutes away from both shows starting at 8 p.m. And there's a lot to look forward to. Like I said, NXT, both major championships in NXT are being defended tonight. Christian Cage is debuting for AEW. TNT title on the line. What I am surprised at is that we haven't seen much going on with the North American Championship, which was, I can say honestly, the workhorse title of NXT. I was really invested in that championship. Still am invested in that championship, but ever since Damian Priest lost it to Johnny Gargano, I'm just not seeing much done with it, and I guess it's part of the Wwe storyline, him holding onto the title every week. Maybe he's injured. I don't know. Johnny Gargano really not doing much with the title lately, but I'm kind of getting off track here as to what we're talking about. If you're just tuning in, this is the Angle Podcast, Wednesday Night War, AEW NXT pre-show, prediction preview show. I'm your host, Joey Karni. Like I said, we're going over everything that's happening tonight, all the matches, the big matches for both NXT and AEW. Now, we were just talking about Mr. Regal's two game-changing announcements. One being it could possibly be the announcement of a takeover event, maybe a 2-night takeover event going into WrestleMania week. A lot of people are saying that it's been confirmed, and I guess it has been confirmed from reports, that he will also be announcing, and one of those announcements will be the debut of the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, which will most likely be awarded in some sort of match at the NXT TakeOver that he will also be announcing. So I'm not sure if that's, it is confirmed that the tag titles, the women's tag titles, will be one of the announcements. There's another announcement to be made. Like I said, that could be the announcement of NXT TakeOver WrestleMania week, or that can also be the announcement that NXT will be moving to Tuesdays sometime in either March or April. That has also been another big topic going on in the wrestling world, that NXT will be moving to Tuesdays, not in reference to losing to AEW, but more of the network. A lot of things happening with the network, USA Network, NBC, whatever they do behind the scenes. But yeah, that might be one of the announcements. So there's a couple different things that could be going on. We definitely know it's going to be the NXT Women's Tag Titles. The second one will most likely be the TakeOver event, where the NXT Women's Tag Titles will be defended. So there's a lot to look forward to on both shows. We also have Kaiden Carter versus Zio Lee. Zio Lee is doing so many wonderful things in NXT. Stephanie McMahon recently said in an interview that she sees Zio Lee as the future of the women's division. There is a lot of I guess, push behind Zio Lee. So there's a lot of things happening right now in NXT, not just the women's division, but in NXT in general, that can be really, or that will be, or that is really exciting. Same thing for AEW. A lot of things, like I said, happening tonight. TNT title on the line. Christian Cage debuting. I'm trying to see if I missed any other matches that are going down tonight. Let's see here. NXT, we pretty much covered NXT. AEW side, we pretty much have that. Yeah, big news coming out of WWE today. The WWE Hall of Fame will be coming back this year, and there will be a ceremony, I believe it was April 6th, streaming live on Peacock, a Hall of Fame special for the 2020 class and the Hall of Fame class of 2021, and it was announced on the bump by Gregory Shane Helms, a superstar legend that I've had on the show as a guest. Talked about a lot of great things then, but he announced emotionally that Molly Holly will be the first inductee into the 2021 WWE Hall of Fame, which is huge news because Molly Holly, deserves it so much. I'm looking in the chat. David Smith says, WWE will never admit AEW won the Wednesday Night War with NXT. I guess you can say that, David, and I'm assuming you are an AEW fan because I see from your profile picture it's the AEW logo. I love to see that you're a diehard fan. I don't necessarily think that AEW won the Wednesday Night War with NXT because I really don't think there was, and I know my background is Wednesday Night War. I just picked that because it was goes along with the theme, but I don't really think there was necessarily a Wednesday Night War. NXT was always billed as developmental. Now it's billed as the third brand of WWE, but we all know that it's not because they don't treat it as the same brand. It's not involved in WrestleMania. It's not involved at Survivor Series. It's barely involved at WrestleMania, if it is involved at WrestleMania. it's developmental, whatever you want to call it. NXT stands for next. That was the whole idea of NXT, a brand Triple H came up with. AEW is Dynamite is pretty much like a Raw or SmackDown. So if you want to go head to head with a show, AEW Dynamite, I mean, it's the only show that they have, flagship show. WWE's got 3 different shows on. So AEW Dynamite going head to head with NXT. Of course, they're going to win every week. They have freaking Sting and Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega and all these people where NXT is there to build their stars to go to Raw or SmackDown. So if you want to compare any show, it really should be like NXT and AEW Dark. That would kind of be like the Wednesday Night War, if you want to call that, even though AEW Dark is not on Wednesdays, it's on Tuesdays. Or Mondays. I'm not even sure what day it is. But a lot of people are always saying that, like, oh, AEW beat WWE. I don't think that's necessarily true. Because if WWE really wanted to compete with AEW Dynamite, they'd put freaking all their big stars on NXT. You would see Roman Reigns show up on NXT. You would see Charlotte Flair show up on NXT longer than she did last year. You would see other people who draw in NXT. Seth Rollins, Big E, stars that you can actually add into a storyline where that's where they came from. You don't see those guys and girls on there because it's not the intention. Also, from what we saw at AEW Revolution, with the explosion, that ending of AEW Revolution, not really going to plan with the explosion angle. Kenny Omega seemed to be, or he was pissed off about it. Jon Moxley made fun of it during his after-match segment, dark segment, I guess. And Raw kind of making fun of it, saying things about explosions and, excuse me, and the little pyro with Randy Orton, making it seem it was going to be bigger than it was. It wasn't. That's all in good fun. I don't think these jabs between the two companies are meant to be cruel in any way. They're just, at the end of the day, like, for example, Paul White revealed in the post AEW Revolution media conference that when the news broke about him signing with AEW, Vince McMahon called him and said, he was a great fit for there and that he'd do well and he was happy for him. Like, there was no bad blood. There's no hard feelings. Maybe some people like Cody. We don't know. We're never going to know the full story. But overall, I mean, Lana works with WWE. Miro's in AEW. You're not going to see like those jabs be in like any way intentional or any way to be cruel. They're more for fun, to poke fun. It's all in good fun. It's all for the love of the game, love of pro wrestling. So I wouldn't take all those things way too serious, or I wouldn't take those things as serious as most do. But tonight should be an exciting night for both shows. AEW Dynamite has a stacked card. WWE NXT has a stacked card. I'm excited for both. Those in the chat, which show do you actually watch live, if not both? I tend to switch back and forth because it's really difficult to enjoy both shows. So honestly, if NXT was moving to Tuesdays, I would not be mad. I'd be able to have my full attention on each show, and I think it would also help with the ratings because there's a lot of fans who watch Dynamite who also like NXT, and a lot of fans who like NXT who watch Dynamite. So those fans jumping back and forth will be able to boost both shows up, which I think is just best for business in general. But like I said, there's a lot of fun stuff happening tonight. I've been on here long enough, so I'm going to get off here. Just want to talk about both shows, kind of give predictions for both shows. I think Scorpio Sky is going to defeat Darby Allin tonight for the TNT title in the main event. If that is the main event, Christian Cage is going to be doing a lot of great things. Oh, we didn't talk about what's happening with the Inner Circle. Inner Circle is having some sort of war meeting where I think that we're going to see the Inner Circle or MJF turn on Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is going to get a face run, hopefully, because the whole Inner Circle thing to me, honestly, is getting a little stale. So Inner Circle meeting, we're probably going to see Sammy Guevara come back. What if we saw Sammy Guevara come back and be in cahoots with MJF, and their goal is to take over the Inner Circle? They're the up-and-coming rising stars. Let them run the show, kick Jericho out, he's done, whatever, play with that storyline. That would be an amazing storyline. Or we just see Jericho get kicked out of the Inner Circle, MJF takes over. But either way, I do see MJF taking over the Inner Circle. I think it's time for a change of the guard. When it comes to the Inner Circle, I think that MJF would be a perfect fit for that. Let Jericho go on to something else, something better, because come on, he is the champion. He is one of the greatest of all time, so might as well let him move on. But like I said, a lot of great things happening. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. All the social media links are there. It's at The Angle Radio, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and it's at The Angle Podcast right here on YouTube, as well as TikTok. We'll be posting more content regarding these streams and interviews, all that coming very, very soon. I hope you guys all enjoy NXT and AEW Dynamite. Should be a fun show. I'll be live tweeting on Twitter, like I said, at The Angle Radio all night, both shows, talking about the best and worst things and just giving my opinion. So if you want to engage with me there, go there, like I said, at The Angle Radio. I want to thank you all for tuning in for this sort of prediction pre-show, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good night, and like I always like to end on a positive note, it's a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. Have a good night. Stay safe. Wear your mask still if you haven't been vaccinated, or you have, whatever, wear your mask. And I will see